Well, hello there. Welcome to Brand Therapy. I'm Phil.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is the podcast where we help you position, build, and promote your brand. Oh boy, are you in for a treat. A treat, because today, our guest is probably someone that I text more than anyone else other than my own mother. Yeah, I just thought back into my text message history. I definitely text this person almost as much as my mother. And that's because I trust him. I rely on him. You're going to hear me praise him over the next half hour that we spend together because Mynor Alexander is a very close friend of Phil Pallen Collective. Someone that we work with because he's a genius. I'm sure you've heard me talk about my YouTube channel. Guess what? Revealing our big secret, Mynor is the mastermind behind our YouTube channel. Now, not just me, but many of our clients. And he is here with us on Brand Therapy today to talk about so many great things, including YouTube. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me today.
We're so happy. I can't even put into words how much I love and enjoy you in my life. Can I just actually start with a compliment? Your impact on our business, but just in my general happiness of working is significant. So let me tell you something. This year, when I look at even January, the first month, I think I group 3 categories into one when we look at our business income. So aside from obviously the client work that we do, I group sponsored content, affiliates, and speaking engagements into one category. In January, I made $300 in that category, which is not that great. When you compare it to now, that number, Mynor, does not drop below 6,000. And on a good month, it's around 8,000 to 9,000 now. And I wasn't doing sponsored content until I met you. And even in the first year that we worked together, we did lots to get set up for that. And it is now significant. And it's not just about money. It's about my own enjoyment. I studied broadcast journalism. I was a TV host. That was my first job as a kid. I am now doing what brings me joy, work that brings me joy. And you play a huge role in that. So thank you for that, by the way.
No, thank you for trusting in me. When we had that first talk, I told you that YouTube would become the backbone of your business. It would drive so much revenue from so many streams. And we're just in the beginning phase. And I can't wait to see it when your channel blows up and all the other things that are coming. It's a process, but it's so worth it.
That's what's so exciting is what's coming. It's not even what we have and what we have now. It's what's coming. And I'll just say, and then Lauren, I'll let you ask questions. But I'm doing work now that I would have never anticipated. And it's not just directly we make whatever it is a month from YouTube ads. That's all great. But I'm doing sponsored content with the brands that have approached me to do a collab video for my own channel. But now many of these brands are actually hiring me to create video content for them. And so it's not just the direct output or correlation with YouTube. It's all of these little offshoot things. The more my channel grows, the more comfortable I get, the better I get, which we'll talk about in this episode. It's so exciting.
I think it's just really important for our listeners to understand the impact, the significant impact that YouTube has had on Phil Pallen Collective. I'm looking at the financials right now, and Phil's account is still really, really new in the grand scheme of things, really, really new. Didn't start even posting regularly until 2020. So we're not even 2 years old yet and wasn't even really even at a place where you could make money until earlier or even mid 2021. And already money from YouTube ads, from affiliates, from sponsored content is about 7% of business revenues, which is bananas. It's a really
that it just started.
Yeah, a really significant portion, especially in the beginning stages. 50% of our site traffic is coming from YouTube. And Phil's email list is growing by over 80 people per day from YouTube.
I love that part. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, listeners, listen up because Mynor really knows his stuff. So let's start at the beginning. How did you see an opportunity on YouTube for your clients? What's the beginning story of how you got into this?
I kind of wish I could take credit. And obviously my ego would say I planned everything. I actually got thrown into it. I had a background in web SEO. So when I saw YouTube, I was just curious if video SEO was a thing or if any of it mattered. And then I got introduced to somebody that actually hired me to help them boost their Instagram account. At the time, I was just the more I got to know about it and the more I saw, I was just like, why aren't you on YouTube? Like, this is the perfect thing for me and you to tinker with. And she actually just let me lead. And then we just created like this kind of ping pong method thing where we would push people from YouTube to Instagram. And at first, obviously, it didn't grow. But within 6 months, we hit 250,000 subscribers. And then she started buying into the whole idea. And I was like, wait until like the sponsor deals come in, wait until all this other stuff. And she's just like, how did you know this was going to happen? And I didn't. I wish I could say I did. And then after that, she referred me to another client and then another client. And then Phil and I kind of bumped along the way. And like, I was blown away by Phil, like his voice, his presentation style. I asked him for some help and he full on gave me a video tutorial and he walked me through them. And I'm just like, this is exactly what I want to see on YouTube. And I just kind of dropped a little seed to mention that to him. And then he finally just said, you want to meet up and let's talk more about this. And then I just became part of your team as well. And you guys became part of my team. And now we just, I don't know, we're building a machine that's so exciting to see build out on its own. Like it's just a lot of great things are coming. I can feel it. I can see it. And I'm so glad that Phil's channel is actually gaining that momentum because he's one of those that I think he started questioning a lot, like, when are they coming? What's going on? Why is this taking so long? I'm putting all this energy in, but I'm not seeing anything. And then like all of a sudden it's just coming like all full force.
Yeah.
I love how Phil referenced it as a snowball effect because that's what YouTube is. We build out a huge library of videos, meaning you might think one video is going to be like, it's going to resonate with so many people and that they're going to gravitate towards that one. But what if they see another one that has nothing to do with your brand or nothing to do with whatever your video topics are? And they just kind of get to know you more. And then they start binging on your content. And then it's one video after another, then they subscribe. And it's almost like it is a snowball effect. And then like you can't stop the momentum after that. It's amazing to see all that side of it.
Yeah. Cause I feel like with a social platform like Instagram, for example, where it's all short form content, it's really easy to, have one successful post, but then everyone kind of forgets about you. But the beauty of YouTube is that because it's a search engine, every success is logged and every success helps your account grow even months down the road when you aren't expecting it.
Right. For me, that is my biggest selling point because I see a lot of companies, influencers, and people just dumping so much money into ads. For me, that's push marketing. You're chasing the audience. You're always having to pay for your ad to pop up versus YouTube. You become, well, with my help, you become searchable. And that is where you're pulling in your audience. You pull them in by educating them or providing them the resource that they're looking for. They love you. They fall like that's technically what we do. We gravitate towards the people that we love and the presentation style and all that good stuff. And then now you can sell them. That's like later in the long run. Now we do like upsells and we do like funnels. It really just depends. Phil is like a complete like genius at all this already. So he doesn't really need my guidance. It's more like he leaped before me, but he's building out something incredible. And I can't wait to see the rest.
We all put work into it, but it feels like it's on autopilot in a really positive way. I cannot say that about Instagram. I cannot really say that about many other aspects of my business, other than I would say I've delegated quite well and I trust within our own business, like, Lauren and Micah and all of our team that do specific responsibilities. I'm involved less on our client stuff, which has freed up time to do this piece with you, Mynor, and all of the other parts of that I'm just absolutely loving. But it's just, we enjoy the process. I think we don't talk enough about that. It's like, and I think it shows in the videos we create. Not every video is a hit, but I enjoy the process of making them. And I describe YouTube like this because I've experienced it. Each video that you post is like a lottery ticket. So we can't guarantee, even if it's the most amazing video, we can't guarantee that it's going to have viral success. But what you can do is you can play the lottery, but you have to play consistently. You can't just show up once.
Yeah.
You have to be present. And every time you post a video, it's like a new lottery ticket and it increases your chances that you're going to have that viral hit. So for me, video 4, we're at almost 150 videos that I've posted in 2 years. Video 4 was Instagram story question ideas. That one was my first video that took off. And I think 3 apps for content creation, which is my big hit, if you will, is well over 200,000 views. And it sent us over 7,000 people to our email list. One video, one YouTube video. And so I guess we can't guarantee you're going to win the lottery, but you can show up consistently and increase your chance of winning by playing, is the analogy I use.
Yeah. And I love that one because, yes, consistency is one of the biggest points. YouTube has like, I don't know how many billions of touch points, but that is one of them. YouTube is a business. So they want to make sure that they're only showing relevant and amazing content to the viewers to keep them there and retain them so they can generate ad revenue. So it's very important that you show up and you're at least posting one video a week. That is like the bare minimum. I would love to see way more, but that a lot of people don't have that budget or time or luxury to actually say, yes, I can commit to this full time. So one video a week is the jump off point.
Let's talk about your recommendations for someone on YouTube. Now, my number one recommendation is for someone to just hire you first and foremost. So I hope listeners take that away. But let's say someone isn't in a position to hire you, but they do want to get started on YouTube and grow it to be a money maker. What's your recommendation for them from start to finish?
I would say just be ready because everything changes, right? Like there's updates in the algorithm, just the machine itself is always updating. So it's really hard, especially now with the pandemic happening. A lot of people did jump onto other platforms to stream. They're feeling more comfortable on camera. So it got a little more competitive. If anything, usually when I take on new clients too, the number one question I ask them with is, if you have like zero income, zero followers, or zero views, would you still do this from your heart? Is this your true passion? Because I can lead you there, but I'm not going to drag you across the finish line. I need you to want this as bad as I want it. And those are the people that I look for as well. Like if this is your burning desire to be a YouTuber and you want to do it because you have a message or you have a reason, not money driven, but mostly something that's going to push you and motivate you, because we're going to have off days and we're going to have, just like Phil said, not every video is a home run. But that's the fun part of it. We get to experiment and we get to see what is working and what isn't. And then when we do find something that's working, that's when we extend a library. We do a series around it and we just keep building on top of those like blocks, Lego blocks. So for somebody new, I would just focus on your message. Don't worry about the audio, the video. And yes, those are all things that matter, but mostly just be committed to seeing it through. And you will get there regardless. It might take you 10 years without me, but hopefully you do take me on and I will get you there within a year or 2 years. So it's a big learning curve, but I never want to push anyone away from a platform, especially where they can express or share their vision or whatever they're working on. I would love to just see so many people on YouTube.
We know you love YouTube. How do you feel about other popular social media platforms like Instagram?
It is very hard to be on those. For me, it feels like I have to think it out. I have to think it through and plan it. And another thing is like, it's kind of going back to what we talked about. You're at the mercy of the program to be seen versus if we do YouTube videos and if you have me doing all the SEO titles and search tags and all that good stuff, your content will come up and it resonates more with that person because they're searching for you. They're not being pushed towards you or, hey, you might like this, or a suggested algorithm.
Yeah, that's a really good point. With the message that someone needs to convey in a video, how specific should someone be? So for example, Phil brought up his Instagram stories video. Would you recommend someone do Instagram stories for entrepreneurs or just more of an overview video? Like basically, how drilled down should someone get in their message?
With that one, we actually have the freedom. Since Phil's video did really well, we do have the freedom to actually say this is just for business owners. This is just for students. This is just for startups. All those keywords are actually amazing right now to target and hit. Another thing is Phil and I we do want to push people to Instagram, but our main focus is to keep them on YouTube, the business, and the email list. So it's kind of like not our main focus at the time, but we can build that out as well. Like we do have the luxury to build that out.
Cool. And in terms of how someone presents themselves on video, obviously Phil has a very gregarious personality, smiles a lot, very comfortable on camera. Is that necessary for someone to be successful on YouTube? How can they present their personality in a way that'll be compelling?
I think that grows over time. Like Phil's just a star. He's been doing like public speaking for so long. So when I heard his voice too, like for the first time, I was just like, God, this guy needs to be on YouTube. We can't wait.
I love like you guys are talking about me like I'm not here. I'm in the room. But yeah, you can keep complimenting me. Go ahead.
Well, I just like the specific reference, but yeah, I guess you're both being complimented a ton on this episode, I will say.
No, yeah, but his style of presentation, he already has that dialed in. I kind of gave him like the formula and the little blueprint and little pointers, but he just ran with it. He knew the process of it. For someone brand new, I wouldn't worry so much on like being so bubbly or fake. I would rather see the real you. Just deliver the message. The number one thing too is like, let's take apple pie for an instance. If I'm looking up how to make an apple pie, I need you to be laser focused on those key ingredients. Don't pan off and saying, well, it's not apple season and we could probably supplement with peach, and they drag on the like the video. It's like, no. Stay in focus and stay on topic. Here are the 5 key elements or ingredients, my special ingredients that I use to create an apple pie, and just hit those 5 points and then kind of have your closing statement, and that's it. And then repeat.
Yeah. And that makes sense because again, by being focused, you are meeting the viewer where they are. And where they are is, I'm looking for how to create an apple pie. I'm not looking for how to create an apple pie out of season. That could be a different video. But I guess thinking
and then you kind of drift away, and then you tell me a story about your mom, how she used to pick apples. And yeah, I want my recipe. Unfortunately, our attention span is getting smaller and smaller. So as if we hit them, give them what they want and move along, and actually at the end recommend another video. Like if you love apple pie, we have a peach cobbler that you absolutely love. Now subscribe to my channel.
Yeah. And it's so easy to get distracted with YouTube. So easy to get distracted on the wrong things. I have a friend who's also posting on YouTube and his thumbnails look beautiful. His video is shot beautiful. He cares so much about the style and the editing and all of that. And I love to consume those types of videos, but I post twice a week. He posts maybe once or twice a month, not consistently. Videos get like 30 to 40 views. And it's just proof that it's so easy to focus on the wrong things. Sometimes we accidentally export my video and it's not HD, and he'll ping me. He'll be like, why is your video not HD? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that was a mistake, but like, it doesn't even matter. People don't care. People don't care. I mean, I think people care about audio. Like you should sound good. And that's why I travel with my microphone. But beyond that, we're not fussy and Mynor is always there to kind of help remind, like, focus on the right things. The person that's wanting to learn the apple pie recipe does not care how you sound or look, especially care how you look. They want the recipe.
I've actually seen that through you. In the beginning, you wanted to have everything right. The shirts, the color, the grading.
I literally do not give a shit anymore. When you see, I will wear this. I used to change my shirt after every video.
Oh
so
my
that
God.
I would never have the same shirt like 2 weeks in a row. And now it's like, if I have to film 6 videos in one sitting, you're going to get the same ass shirt. You're going to get the same shirt because I could not be bothered.
And I love that because I saw it through you. At first, you did want to have like everything tailored and the thumbnails had to be a certain way. And then you kind of let go a little. And it was just, that's when the magic happened. It's just, we overthink it. We get in our heads. We always say, I want the lighting to be perfect. I want all of this. Just, you know what? It's just get it out. We have a library to build. We have to hit our goals. Don't get so much in your way. And here's the building blocks. All you have to do is rinse and repeat.
You've said before that the day you post matters, and it's important to be consistent with the day of the week that you're posting.
Yes.
Does time of day matter?
Time of day, not necessarily, but the way YouTube kind of, or people that watch YouTube videos and the way I kind of treat it, because I go back a lot to TV. If your favorite show aired at a certain date, you would expect it. You would tune in. You kind of build that habit of, okay, I know it's Tuesday, Phil's going to launch, or Wednesday, we're going to be there. Also right now with like all the holidays, this is the perfect timing to copy HGTV, Food Network. All they do is theme styled videos. So if you have an apple pie, show me the best Thanksgiving apple pie, show me the best Christmas treats, lattes, all that good stuff. Now, business approach, you would do the same. How do I manage my time during the holidays? Entrepreneur tips to push me forward or snap me back in focus, which Phil magically just did it on his own. And I'm blown away by him sometimes because I'm like, your timing is perfect with these. And it's just like we go off of that theme style.
Well, it's also cool. We don't have to spend a lot of time talking about this, but it's cool how we all work together. Now it's time to compliment Lauren because it's not fair. We've gotten so many compliments, right, Mynor?
I don't think we would be anywhere without Lauren. She like carries us both, and I feel bad at times.
Oh, please. You two were doing your own thing for like a year and a half, and then it started taking off and making money. And then I inserted
And then you
myself.
paid attention.
Then
Yeah,
I started noticing.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to act as if I've been there from the beginning. I certainly have not.
we could do a whole episode on this, but essentially this podcast, even this episode, is the starting point for a YouTube video. We sit here and we chat. We plan a little bit. Well, Lauren plans. I don't plan anything. But then it goes to my mom, who will clean up the transcription and make the notes from it that then go back to Lauren to write a blog post out of it. The blog post goes into Squarespace, and I take the blog post that's written and turn it into a YouTube script. And that takes an hour out of writing time for me. It takes me half an hour instead of an hour and a half to write the script when it's already written. I just have to format a little bit in that format you talked about, Mynor. Snappy intro. Yes. 3 to 5 points. I mean, we follow such a formula to the point where the only way I'm able to post twice a week is because we have a formula. And I'm just not even interested in super experimenting outside of that formula because we have a nice constant amount of growth. And I don't know, I think people come to like it. Like they know that my numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are going to be the same numbers. They know that they can get some really good information in 10 minutes with me watching a video. I love our formula. I just love it. I'm not interested unless I have a lot of time and a desire to experiment. I just love it's so constant.
Yeah. It's actually funny because the focus video that you just talked about, Mynor, that was my solo episode of the podcast, but I turned it into a blog post for Phil to read. And one of the parts was saying to like clean up your environment and light a candle and essential oils. And then Phil had it in the script.
I'm reading
and didn't
from
even
the prompter.
Notice.
I'm like, what the hell am I saying? Javi was about to start busting a gut laughing.
Light a candle. Phil's like,
light
what
a candle, clean your workspace. And I'm trying to be serious while reading this. And these are clearly not my words or my ideas. I was like,
funny.
It felt like a prank. It felt like that episode of Anchorman where he's reading the teleprompter and it's like written by someone else.
Oh, so funny.
Now watch that video take off.
One of the top videos did come from your blog post too. We kind of said,
yes,
those are perfect.
LinkedIn.
It was a perfect combination because the title alone. And when I searched for it, I was like, wow, yeah, we need to make this into a video. When you pitched it to me, I was like, yeah, this is perfect because I can run with it. And then it just took off. Here's the thing. People think your video has to take off within the first hour. It doesn't. It sits there. The machine is kind of poking it around, sharing it, distributing, kind of seeing feedback. If a lot of people start watching a lot of like a longer duration of it, then it starts suggesting you more, then it puts you on the suggested page. Now that's when like the snowball effect happens because it's just like, and it didn't just take off overnight. It took us a couple of weeks. It was just kind of sitting there. We were like, okay, this was a fail and we're not going to do any more blog posts. And then let's move back to Instagram. And then all of a sudden it just took off and we're like, okay, maybe we need to go back and revisit LinkedIn because it's there.
It's so unique compared to other social media platforms. YouTube is a longer play. I always say this with brand partners that I collaborate with. Like, I can't guarantee that something's going to take off. We can certainly try, but man, it's amazing that it takes 2 to 3 months sometimes longer for a video to take off. Sometimes a video that's like doing super, super well, it could be a year old. And I just love that about YouTube versus the expectation that your content's going to die a week after you put all this work into it.
There's another thing though, like Instagram, TikTok. Well, I think TikTok's monetizing now and Instagram is tinkering with the idea of monetizing. All those other platforms, they don't care or they don't provide for their creators versus YouTube is just tailored for creators. The more you put out, the more we give you too. And it just you get that brand exposure, brand awareness. And then you start doing that ping pong method where we used to do back in the day, where you just shove them to whatever platform you want, to your newsletter, your Instagram account, and back and forth from Instagram. Or for an example, when we had the other channel, we would at the end say, if you like more behind the scenes raw content, go see my Instagram account. And then from Instagram, we would say, if if you like this, you might want to see the full recipe on my YouTube channel. So it was always constantly back and forth, back and forth. And they just kept growing and growing. And it's like, that's kind of something, it really depends on the client itself. Like, what do you want to grow? Do you want to grow your online course? That's another thing. We just ping them there. Every teaser or every video is going to have a little snippet of saying, join my course right now for a 20% discount, 50%, whatever it takes. We're always going to be pushing them back and forth.
Now, let's talk about money. I was completely unaware of YouTube ads being accessible and a possibility for people who don't have 1 million followers until you started working with Phil. Like, I was really, really shocked to find out that Phil could start making money once he hit those milestones within like a year or so. So could you kind of break down for our listeners what making money on YouTube looks like, and maybe even give a few figures of like what they might expect?
That is also another snowball effect, because obviously the more content you put out, the more ad revenue you're going to generate as well. And since every channel is not the same, even in the same niche, it's never the same channel. So I can't really give you hard numbers, but I know reading like other blog posts, I know you shared one with me too, where you were giving me the statistics on how long it takes for someone to monetize. And I was just like, I don't Google stuff like that. And I don't look into it. I kind of just stay so laser focused on what I do and the things that I like, the training and the formula and all that good stuff. I don't look around. But when you showed me that it would take more than a year for them to get their first 100 subscribers, it broke my heart, because here are the true YouTubers, the ones that really are the diehard, that show up, that are passionate, consistent, and they're not getting love from the platform because they don't know SEO. They don't know how to optimize their videos or swap out their thumbnails or just tinker with the system, to where you're missing that huge part, especially the formula part. That, I think, when I put that together and I saw the first viral video, I was just like, yeah, this is it. I found it. I finally can figure out how to present, how to do this, how to guide people to get it. And then just the money, it just blows people away. You're going to start making $100. That is your first month. And you're just like, little by little, it starts trickling. And Phil saw this. We started at 100, then quickly moved to 500 and 1,000. I can't wait to see 4,000, 10,000. When Phil sees that $100,000 or $120,000 a month, I know he's just going to text me and just be like, "Whoa, does this stop
At that
here?"
point,
Yeah.
we'll be doing videos. Honestly, I'll promise you guys. And even before that point, when we reach that point, I will commit to doing daily videos Monday to Friday.
If you make 120,000 a month,
Less. If
Yeah.
we have,
Phil
if
needs
we
like
have a,
10K a month, and then
if we have like, honestly, 20,000 a month, okay, let's say something like that. My dream is to have like a studio and to be able to make videos, to have that workflow, almost like a newscaster or a journalist.
Yeah.
It's almost like write a video today, film it tomorrow, but it would almost be like live. Like I'd almost have to like edit it live, like switch it live on a board. Like I have all these kooky, crazy ideas of where I want to go in the future with this. But the fact is, even this small but so steady growth, I'm already at a point in 2 years where this is equivalent to a lot of people's income yearly. And it's like a fun little experiment that like a group of friends are doing. It's like what we're doing. It's so cool.
I love seeing that freedom part where people gain control of their lives, but I also love the growth part. A lot of people don't have the presentation skills. They don't know how to film. They don't know a lot of things. They don't know about lighting. And then they have those insecurities that there's so many beautiful beauty bloggers out there. Why would someone tap into me? Like, what makes me special? And just seeing their growth and kind of helping them and pushing them and giving them that guidance kind of starts building their confidence up. And it's just amazing to see when they actually start blossoming. It's incredible to see. That is like the funnest part of my job, just kind of pushing you to see where or how far you can take this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also think that the work you two have done together has drastically affected Phil in a very positive way outside of YouTube. And I just realized this now. So first of all, I've noticed that Phil procrastinates less, because with YouTube,
I do.
You've got to get the videos out. Like you've got that day of the week that you have to do, or in Phil's case, 2 days a week. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you miss that day, it could ruin everything that you've worked for. And I really think that has translated to Phil being like, sorry, again, talking as if you're not here. like a little more proactive on Asana tasks and maybe doing things like a few days before they're due instead of the day of it being due. And also, I think, Phil, let me know if I'm wrong here, but I think that you've kind of loosened your grip on terms of client stuff since starting YouTube, because the standards on YouTube aren't as perfection driven as maybe you naturally are. And I feel that.
Yeah, it's a good observation. I said to you, we were filling out a questionnaire for a learning styles assessment. I went back and regraded myself on one of the questions because my natural inclination was to choose like lowest scores for procrastination. I have been a procrastinator, but at this stage right now, I'm not. I don't procrastinate. I mean, I'll sit on something if I really don't want to do it, but chances are even then I'll start it. So that it's easier to finish. I don't really procrastinate anymore. And I think, Lauren, you're right. I think YouTube has definitely played a role in that.
But there is a story because Phil is a troublemaker.
Yeah.
Phil used to always test me, can I push it to this day? Can I not film today? So what we did was we would take his Instagram lives and we would turn it into a video just to supplement, since he was procrastinating in the beginning. What hurt him was that we weren't getting the views or the love from the Instagram lives because it didn't follow the script. It didn't follow that YouTube feel. So that's what put him into gear too, because he's like, no. Okay, I need to start filming. I need to start putting more attention to this. And yeah.
It's a little bit like working out. Like once you really get into that rhythm, now if only I could transfer that to working out. I wish. Lauren has. I have not. Like, but YouTube, I can speak with so much confidence that like we've got it on lockdown. And it's cool. I don't worry about like, oh, I'm going to miss a deadline. It just is. It just operates. Good. And it's cool.
And don't worry. We're going to have our viral hit. We need to keep pushing more content and seeing where the audience, what people resonate with you most.
So to summarize, if someone's wanting to get started on YouTube, hire Mynor. But if you can't do that, jump in.
Yes.
Be your authentic self.
Yes.
Have a mission that is grounding the direction of the videos. Stay on target with whatever question you're hoping to answer in your video. Don't worry too much about how you look. Maybe care about how you sound. Tell people to like, comment, and subscribe.
Love that.
And post regularly every once a week at minimum, same day per week. Never miss it or all of your efforts will be ruined.
Be consistent. I love that, like the little threat. It's not real. We can push it. I just don't want to give people the leeway of slacking off because then, they start making all these excuses and to procrastinate. And I'm guilty of it too. So it's like, it just helps me stay on track as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good summary. Great advice. Mynor, it's been such a pleasure to have you on Brand Therapy. It feels like we're opening the door to our secret world, listener. Aren't you lucky?
It is.
It's true though. And it's been fun to talk and even have a second to reflect on this. We're always focused like, oh, here's what we need to do. Here's what's coming next. Business clients, blah, blah, blah. But to actually have this little conversation, go, wow, look at how far we've come is really cool.
I mean, it's actually a business vertical that is fun. Not easy at first, which again, I wasn't even part of. So it's easy for me to say, but it's a business vertical that's just going to keep on giving.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
It will become the backbone of your business and all the revenue streams that come from it. You're going to be able to scale and build teams, build online courses. And that's where we begin to scale as well. So if you want to create your own brand product and merchandise, I have the distribution, I have the people, I have the connections to do that as well. And then, of course, you guys, which would lead the online courses if the client desires to create something, a private group, something like that. It's endless, but at least YouTube will give you the revenue streams to fund all those projects.
Well, listener, you better be inspired. Go put this into action. We recommend calling Mynor. He's done amazing stuff for us. And thank you, Mynor, for hanging out with us on Brand Therapy.
Thank you so much and love you guys so much too.
Likewise.